Interesting.
Livestream starten mislukt. Het ziet er goed uit. Not.
Je hebt ook zo'n video, I think.
Wat zien we dan?
Michel heeft een YouTube live.
Ja, ik hoop dat
Hier is
je
je
het
key.
uitlegt. Nog voor zich.
En je kunt
Zullen we
choose
een filmpje maken?
Ja.
Hij moet ergens van op beeld.
You want something in it, sugar? Or?
No, I think it's fine. Yeah.
Is dat voor jullie koffie of thee?
Ik wil een beetje warm water alsjeblieft, zonder thee.
Ik wil best wel koffie.
Oké.
Ehm,
Nou, dan...
Shorts? Really short.
Het is nog niet zo laat. Dan heb ik ook een tune en een mengpaneel en dan praat ik over de tune en dat is niet. Het is allemaal à l'improviste.
Kun je even vertellen wanneer we in de uitzending zijn?
Ja. Ik klap in mijn handen. Nee. Als ik zie dat het 3 uur is, dan begin ik in die microfoon te doen. Dat is de mijne.
Jij gaat vragen stellen, toch?
Nou, ja, ik wou eigenlijk heel snel het woord aan Jo geven, want die snapt wel echt helemaal precies wat we aan het doen zijn en wat de bedoeling is. En ook in de samenhang. Ik zeg het grappig, maar het is natuurlijk... Oké, ik wil ook beginnen. Hallo, het is 3 uur 's middags op woensdagmiddag. En dat betekent tijd voor Radio Teranga. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Wednesday. So it's time for Radio Teranga, live from Dakar, Amsterdam and everywhere.
Van het poorthuisje.
Uit het poorthuisje vandaag.
Live guests.
Live guests here.
We have Sema. Hello, Sema.
Hello.
Hello, Ahmad.
Hello.
I don't ask where you're from. We only ask where you're going to at the end of the program. Vincent,
Hallo.
jij hebt het huisje hier een beetje klaargemaakt met wat?
Met gezelligheid. We hebben een kopje koffie en thee. We hebben ook nog een taartje.
Kom gezellig langs.
Erbij.
Er is ruimte in deze herberg.
Zeker. De Poorthuis aan de Molukkenstraat in Amsterdam-Oost. Het is een gemengde buurt. En naar ons idee gebeuren hier allemaal hele leuke dingen.
Ja, maar weet je wat het is? We zitten in een huisje en ik zie nog een ander huisje. Daar is ook wat.
Ja, klopt. Dat zijn de 2 poorthuisjes. En in het andere huisje, daar is een kunst...
Sorry, ik onderbreek je even.
Ja.
Je hoort eigenlijk de slijptol van Momar die bezig is de baobab in elkaar te zetten. Dat gebeurt niet tegelijkertijd.
Ja.
En dat zenden we uit op de YouTube-kanaal live van Radio Teranga. Dus het is een beetje verwarrend. Ik zal hem even zachtjes zetten.
En nu ben ik ietsje beter te verstaan.
In dat andere poorthuisje, wat is daar?
Ja, in het andere poorthuisje, daar hebben we een kunstinstallatie gebouwd. En we hebben een celdeur van een detentiecel nagebouwd.
Did you see that, Ahmad? Have you seen the door?
No.
Let's have a look at the door.
Oké.
Yeah, it's 2
Yeah.
steps away from here. We walk to the next house and we show the door. Come on. It's Art, you know. Art wants to be seen. Hey, there's the postman. He drops his phone. Hey. Hey. Don't drop it.
De film weer
Ja, dat is ook een
Niemand
film.
een camera aanzetten, zodat de kijkers er ook wat aan hebben?
Ja, maar hoe doe je dat? De camera aanzetten. Kun jij de camera aanzetten?
Ja.
Hij komt hoor.
Rammen en dan...
Ja, gewoon van je camera aanzetten.
Staat hij aan?
Goed, kijk eens.
Come on, dat kunnen jullie.
Hij gaat niet aan. Misschien die andere.
Ik denk dat ik had van tevoren toestemming moeten geven. Misschien moet ik Jitsi uit om toestemming te kunnen geven.
Nou ja, afijn, we zien hier dus niet alleen de deur van een gevangeniscel, maar we zien ook door het raampje de
Dat
film
lijkt me sterk. Wacht even.
Brandcellencomplex Schiphol-Oost. Heb je dat? Ja. Het is in Dutch. Het is the reconstruction of the fire that happened 20 years ago in the detention center for unwanted people, like you have been, at Schiphol. This one killed 11 brothers and sisters. This is why we are here today, because we organized a commemoration as a warning, because prisons for migrants are arising all over the place. And this is what happens when you do that. You kill people. That's the message. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you've been there.
Yeah, I think it's a different facility right now. But
Yeah, they make a very nice new fireproof prison.
I wouldn't say a nice one. It wasn't a nice one.
No, but the only measure they took is build new prisons that are fireproof. You know? They should stop putting people in prison for no reason. That's my humble opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
Sema, what do you see?
Met beelden.
Yeah.
I see part of a documentary, I think. It's
Yeah.
about the research after the fire.
Yeah.
I see the complex from above.
And what do you actually see? This is a maquette
Okay.
where they explain where the prisoners were. You saw also a bird's eye view. All this is no longer there. They destroyed it because there's a new prison now, very fireproof. This is the real thing.
Seriously wounded as well.
NATO-draad, we call it. Vincent, vertelt.
Yes, so I was explaining about this picture that is here next to the door. Don't forget, and this is a picture of prisoners, of migrants outside in a waiting
De luchtplaats.
luchtplaats. Yeah,
The air cage.
the air cage. And
While the fire was still burning.
yeah, it was still burning.
It was cold. It was end of October, and they were only covered with blankets because they were sleeping. They were almost naked.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Imagine.
And so they were moved from one part of the prison to the other, and then outside. And these are the people that lost their friends and people that they knew, and so on. They knew exactly who was in which cell.
Actually, some of the people, they saw the other people dying. They tried to liberate them, but they were stopped by bullets because they didn't want them to be liberated. Security of the personnel came first, and only later on the migrants and detention. So that's a warning. Yeah, okay. Well, it's art, but it's serious art, and it's the truth. It's allemaal waar. Okay, we go back inside our little tiny house.
And so this installation is for 1 week, the whole day. It's showing for the public, for people on the streets that pass by.
Iedereen kan komen kijken, gewoon in de Molukkenstraat tegenover Albert Heijn. Kijk je door de gevangenisdeur en dan zie je wat er 20 jaar geleden gebeurde. Het is ongelooflijk, maar waar. Nou. So, this is an introduction to know where we are. Ahmad, can you tell us your story in a few minutes?
Yeah, that's
Please.
a very broad question.
Yeah, you feel free to tell us what you want to share.
I would say that I had no expectation of what was awaiting me. Tried to research. There is basically no information. Before because I came here, I knew that I was gonna end up seeking asylum in the Netherlands.
And where did you come from when you came to Holland?
I was in Serbia.
In Serbia.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was staying in Serbia.
Yeah.
And then I had a flight that had a connection in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And then I sought asylum there. I prepared that for like 2 months in advance. I asked friends, tried to figure out what could happen there. No one had any information, although we had some Dutch contacts, but they were like, we know that you would end up in the detention center, which is in the airport, but there is this period of time when I would approach the police and ask for asylum. No one knows anything about it, like how it could go, also because it's not as surveilled as being in the detention center. So it just depends on the officers.
And then you end up in the detention center.
And then I went there, I sought asylum, I ended up in the detention center.
What was it like?
It was just like a jail. It looked like jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know how it looks like.
But now you know.
I mean, now I know, and
Now you
it
know,
was
it looks
shocking.
like-
It was really shocking.
Yeah.
I mean, it was already very traumatizing to navigate through the airport to get to the officers to ask them to seek asylum, and then having to end up on that same night in a prison was also too harsh.
Right away.
Right. I mean, yeah, I was considered lucky actually because I sought asylum I claimed asylum in the morning, so I ended up on the same day at the in the detention center. Normally, people wait for 1 or 2 nights at the airport until the paperwork is finalized, so they can be transferred.
So the timing was good.
So the timing for me, yeah, it was good. I don't know if it's good to end up there earlier, but yeah, at least not at the airport.
And you were put in a cell with somebody else?
When I first got into the cell, no, there was no. It was only me. I mean, there was another bed, but it was an empty cell. And then somebody was transferred, but we had trouble together. He was very traumatized, and he had a lot of nightmares. Couldn't sleep.
And you were farting all the time and laughing, and you had an argument?
No,
It comes from two sides.
No, we never really interacted much because
Not at all.
he's Pakistani, and he only speaks
Urdu.
Pakistani. So Urdu. I was thinking of that. He only speaks Urdu and Indian. So
how do you know he was traumatized?
We tried to talk a little bit about it. After like an hour, he said his experience at the airport, where he was shouted at a lot, and he was stranded. He was stranded at the airport for 2 nights. He wasn't even planning to go to the Netherlands.
You think he was traumatized by the way he was treated?
Because he was stopped. He was planning to go to Central America to cross the U.S., but then they stopped him. And then the treatment then is just totally different than when you approach them to seek asylum.
Yeah.
And then it was.
He was even worse prepared than you then.
Yes, because it's not. Most of the people actually in the detention center were people who were just planning to cross to Central America.
Yeah.
It's mainly people who were prevented from continuing their itinerary.
And in your case, you plan to go to the Netherlands?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Actually, I had a visa to the US, but I didn't want to go to the US because it doesn't. It's not that the Netherlands is a perfect country, but I thought I don't want to be there at the time, right now.
In the USA?
In the US.
Yeah, they love Arabs, man, in the USA.
Not Palestinians.
Oh, you're Palestinian, sorry.
Yeah.
They have a problem with the Palestinians.
Yeah.
That's true.
I
But
think
the Netherlands also has
the
a
Dutch
problem
government also, but I think, regardless how flawed this country is, there is still some sort of liberal system that restricts or surveils. What goes on in comparison to the US.
Okay, then we go to Sema, because you know about the liberal treatment of migrants in Dutch detention centers. Okay, that's all relative, of course. Doen we Nederlands of Engels? Wat wil je?
Wat jij wil. Wat handig is
Let's
voor
do
de
English,
Nederlands.
because that's the common
English?
language. Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah, it's very. I wouldn't say it's liberal, of course. I also think that there's a very big difference between how immigration detention centers were, how the system was inside a few years ago, and now. Now we see in Rotterdam, for example, that people are only allowed to leave their cells for 3 or 4 hours a day. They're not allowed to go to the gym alone whenever they want, or to the space outside. So it's very confined.
Before it was much better.
I would say maybe like 10 years ago, because then at least you could go to the gym whenever you want, or to the space outside.
So now you are locked up 21 hours.
Approximately every day, yes, for months on end.
That's correct.
Yeah, I remember there was this thing circulating because there were a lot of people who got their asylum rejected, and then if you apply for what is the term for it? After rejection, you appeal for the decision, and then if you get rejected again, you get transferred to Rotterdam. I heard, and people were so scared of this Rotterdam prison Also in Schiphol, actually, when I arrived there, we were only allowed out for 8 hours a day when I first arrived. I mean, at some point, we were allowed for more 5 hours. So that makes it 13 hours. But at first it was only 8. And also going out, you don't go out alone. You go out with some of the crew, only for half an hour a day.
Yeah.
So it's sort of similar. But yeah, Rotterdam, they are allowed to way less hours out. And treatment, they said it's harsh because there were people who were there and then transferred back to Schiphol, so they told what was actually going on.
Okay. No, I hold it here because the water cooker makes a sound that it makes everything understandable.
Give me the microphone.
We hebben een nieuwe bezoeker. There's a new visitor.
Yeah, and he's far away from the coffee machine. I think your name is?
Hamu Salhin, and I'm from Sudan.
Tell me again,
Hamu Salhin.
Hamu Salhin.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. My
Nice
name is
to
Yo.
meet you.
Yo.
Yo.
It's easy.
Yes, yo,
That's
yo.
Bart. That's Sema.
Okay.
You know Sema?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. And you know Hamad also?
No, first time. Nice to meet you.
He just told us about his experience in the prison. Do you have that experience as well?
Actually, I do have that experience, but mine was not for long. It was actually a mistake from the IND. So that's why it was for 2 weeks until I get the court, and from the court I get out.
You were the one that got out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look happy now. Are you happy?
I'm always happy, even inside I was happy. For sure.
Yeah. Hey, and are you from the north or the south of Sudan?
I'm actually from the north, but I'm not believing in north and south.
Okay.
But I'm from the north.
You're in the middle.
From Khartoum. I grew up in Khartoum.
Okay, that's the capital.
Yeah.
On the riverside.
In the riverside.
The left or the right side?
Again, left or right? In the middle again.
Okay. So we are talking about some of the experience and observations we can do about the liberal detention regime for unwanted migrants in the Netherlands. We just concluded that it's not very liberal, but it can be worse. It can be worse in Khartoum, for instance.
It's true.
It's true. It can be worse in the USA, for instance. So what are we complaining about? Sema, what is the reason why we are complaining? Oh, Hamad, you have only 2 weeks. Come on, that's nothing.
No, but
some people stay for a year inside this fucking prison, man.
But I'm glad I actually did get there for 2 weeks, because I see a side in the city that I will never see and I will never experience. And it was also a good opportunity because I always like to speak out for people just ignore these kind of things. And I feel in the Netherlands, it doesn't have to be like this. For Khartoum, you say it could be worse, but there is war, there is no capacity, there is nothing. But here, there is everything.
And what can you ignore then?
What do you mean?
So
I mean, like the fact there is a detention for people without document.
Yeah.
That fact I cannot ignore.
You cannot ignore.
I will never ignore. No, because I feel it's like a play. It's like a game, or it's a big lie, because the Netherlands always talk about the human rights and how we treat people, even animals, how in the Netherlands people treat animals. But then in the other side, a person doesn't have a document, he will go to detention. It feels like a bit unehrlich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
which one do you?
Thank you.
This is your opinion?
This is my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel also it's very racist decision. So the person or the people who make these rules or this system is very racist, because this will be only for people coming from the out Europe, but it will never happen for a European person. So
that's not really true, I must tell you.
How, if you are European, you will still get detention because you don't have right document?
It happens quite often that people from the European Union who come here to work from Bulgaria and Romania, they are badly treated. When they lose their work, they also lose their house, and they are on the streets. And if the police catch them and arrest them for making trouble, they are posing a threat to public order, and they are put in prison to be deported back home. EU citizens.
That's
true. On the record.
I agree, it can happen.
So it's even worse than you think.
No, at least they have home to go back.
No, they don't. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So
you don't mind.
No, I do mind. I still not agreeing with that. It's also happening for people, but I was just giving you example that it will not happen for European person. And if it happens that the European person have home to go back.
You think so?
I think so, yeah.
But you're not sure?
No, never sure.
I would, yes, I would like to explain a little bit about the detention center and the idea behind them. Of course, its function is to deport people. That's the juridically the only reason why they can be put in prison. But another function is that it's making the life of undocumented people as hard as possible.
Miserable.
So I don't know which percentage is now the case, but when like 20 years ago, I knew that there were only 30 or 35% of the people in the detention that were actually deported. The rest of the people, they stayed there for months and months and not knowing what would happen the next day. And then they were put on the street, verklinkerd, on the street without papers. And they get, the only thing they got is an order to leave the country within 24 hours.
A train ticket to the border, that's what they got.
Not even a train ticket anymore.
And that was 20 years ago, but nowadays, Seema knows what it's like today. Maybe you can tell us.
Yes, and maybe these percentages
How many
change.
people are actually being deported of all the people in jail? Do you know?
I would say around 60% maybe, but it really depends on the year. We also see that the last 5 years, there's not necessarily more or less people being deported, even though they say so with the Morocco deal, with the Algerian deal. I don't have the numbers very clear, but it's not, not a lot of people. A lot of people, as you said, stay inside for months and months, and they're just thrown out.
Okay. No, I don't like numbers anyway, but 60%, that's...
Yes, but so the idea, a part of the idea of the detention center system is to make the life as miserable as possible for people without documents, in the hope that no other people would come to the Netherlands or that people would disappear.
So they want you to tell your friends in Sudan, don't come to the Netherlands. Did you do that?
Well, I think my friend, if he's living in Sudan right now, and he came to detention in the Netherlands, if you compare them together, the detention is a veilig, is a safe place for him.
Yeah, it's a cheap hotel.
So he will choose for the detention. But then why do you compare this from Sudan to detention? It can also be from Sudan to better life here, right?
Right.
To build future, to
That's
be
the
part
idea.
of the society.
Yeah.
So why we immediately I tell him, no, don't come there to detention. I will tell him, no, come there. It's a beautiful life if you want to build a future.
Yeah, but you have to break out first.
Yeah?
Yeah, you have to break out from the prison first.
Yeah, Ronald.
Mark, did you tell your family or your friends, don't come to the Netherlands because they put you in jail?
No, but I made it clear that it's not a very pleasant experience. But at the end, normally people who end up in the prison, they don't have choice.
No, that's too late.
It's not only that. People who are put in a situation where they have to be undocumented immigrants in the Netherlands didn't really choose that. Whoever have a safe home, they would rather just stay home than to be mistreated.
Are you sorry that you left your country?
I had to. I had no option when I left. I left my hometown 3 years ago.
And what town was that?
Gaza.
Gaza.
I'm from Gaza.
But Gaza City.
Gaza City, yeah.
I see. Okay.
3 years ago.
3 years ago, before the genocide.
And how's your family?
My family also managed to leave. Okay. Yeah, they left during, like after October 7th.
So everybody's safe. You're lucky, man.
Yeah, immediate family is safe, but extended family and past is gone. But yeah, I would say I'm very lucky in comparison to.
But where is the family? Not all.
Scattered.
Scattered.
Everywhere. Yeah.
And how do you come together?
Well, I'm not on good terms with my parents anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so yeah.
Is there a special reason for that?
Yeah.
There's always a special reason for that.
I mean, it never like there's no smoke without fire.
Yeah.
So
No, you don't have to share, but I just wonder because it's not very common that people have broken with their family.
yeah, because I'm a queer person, and yeah, it's not. We don't really align.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
I see. I see.
Maybe it would be good to hear from the meldpunt, vreemdelingendetentie, what kind of messages they get from people within detention.
Yeah, they can call every time they want, free, and they call the number, and then they talk with Sema. And what they tell you.
Yes. Well,
Give you an example, maybe a recent one.
well, there are so many phone calls, so many examples, but usually when they talk about their experience, then it's always that it's very long, that they don't have anything to do, and then they're just bored and very frustrated. They can't do anything with their time, and they're just waiting. They don't know when they're going to. They hope that they will get free and that they can restart their life again, but very anxious. They're very anxious that they're going to be deported. They also don't know how a deportation looks like or what's going to happen when they're back home. But we also get phone calls a lot because people want clothes. It's now getting colder outside, and when you're arrested on the street or when they come and pick you up from an AZC, you're not allowed to pick up your things and go.
Do you send them clothes then?
We have a volunteer who collects clothes from second-hand shops and from donations, and she brings an outfit for the people who want clothes. We also get a lot of phone calls from people who want to connect with their family, because calling back to country X or Y is very expensive. Calling here to a lawyer or to family here is also very expensive.
Because they need to buy a telephone card for making calls.
They have a card, and every week they get like 21 euros. But 21 euros, like a call is like every minute there's, 1 minute costs this many cents.
What's the name of the card these days? It used to be Cobra, but maybe it's changed now.
I don't know what the name is. It's like
we could buy a Cobra card and send it to one of the prisoners so he could make a phone call. That was 10 years ago, maybe.
No, it's a bit different.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's a bit different. It's like a white card, and on the white card you have your name and your V number and another code with like 3 numbers.
Yeah.
It's like an ID card, you could say.
So is there a way to send money or credit to people inside the prison from outside? So we can do something to communicate.
Yes.
Right.
With those 21 euros, they also have to buy food, and the food is very expensive. And if I'm correct, it comes in. First of all, it's the expensive. Like if you want to buy peanut butter, it's not the cheap peanut butter; it's the expensive peanut butter. And also, it comes like in a small. It's always the smaller sizes, so not 1 kilo peanut butter, for example.
Okay.
So money runs out fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But tell me, you do this work for a while already, so you have received maybe 100 or 200 calls.
More.
At a certain moment, they're all the same, no?
Yes.
How do you manage to keep listening?
Well, I have 2 things. First of all, they are experiencing what I'm only hearing, and I work from 9 to 5, and then I close my laptop, and then my day is finished. But for them, it's a reality that continues. Yeah. Also, I really have to keep in mind, some days are very hard, some phone calls are very hard, but I have to keep in mind that eventually the goal is, with all these phone calls I'm getting, to report back, so that we can make sure that the circumstances are inside will be better eventually.
Yeah, that's professional attitude.
Yes.
Right. But sometimes you can't forget what you
No, some phone calls are very hard.
Can you give me one example, just to make it clear what?
To make it very clear, I now have a person. There's now a person inside, and this person speaks many languages, but they're all broken a little bit.
when he speaks, he's, for me, very not, I can't understand him very clearly, but during the phone calls, he's always very frustrated, and sometimes even to the point, he has cried on the phone many times. This person also, I can't really explain it in English very well, but in Arabic we would say that he has so much inside and he can't let it out. There's so many emotions, a lot of frustration, a lot of anger. He doesn't really
up in your body.
Yes. But there's no point of him letting it out. There's also no one really who understands him. Even I don't understand him. Yeah.
Does it help if you listen without understanding?
I hope so. I don't know.
It's difficult. Yeah.
It's very difficult, yeah.
Yeah. People sometimes get really crazy. Like you said, the trauma that you get by this treatment comes to the traumas you had before. I mean, traveling from Serbia to Amsterdam, you can do it in a plane, but sometimes it's even harder if you have to walk.
Yeah.
It's all relative. But why do you think really people are put in this situation? Why?
To whom is that directed?
Anybody.
Oh, okay.
What do you think?
Well, I think what Hamo just said, I think, first of all, there's a very racist system.
Yeah.
You're picked out because you have another color, you look a bit, I don't know, you look a bit strange. And then you're picked out, and sometimes for very stupid reasons. A lawyer once said, because you're cycling without lights, because you're drinking a beer in a park, or because you're causing unrest, something like that. But also, some people are just known. If you're from a smaller city or from a town, you're known as the person who doesn't have any documents. You keep returning because you have a home there, or you feel at home there. You're caught, and then you go back.
Yeah, but you mentioned Hamad and you said it's a racist system, but that means, can I come close? That means really that this is according to the Dutch laws. They made a law to make this possible. And since Holland is a democracy, they choose for this system. And that is then a racist system, but maybe the democracy itself is racist if it goes that far.
Well, you are talking about democracy, and let's say democracy is something maybe you experience, but I didn't experience in the Netherlands. I heard there is a democracy, but I didn't experience any democracy.
But this is part of democracy, that they put people like you in jail. This is part of the system.
It is part of the system, yeah, it is. But also to reach that people will decide for this, let's take it from zoom out, you see the right wings the right parties will choose for this kind of decisions. But even from long ago in the Netherlands, there was even left parties that is in the system, but still this was there, the detention thing. Even it's not effective. I think the Netherlands lose more than they get from this system. We are like losing money, losing time, losing even the behave, because the Netherlands is like freedom country.
It's a waste of human life, but also of social life.
And
but I have to say something here, because it's true what you say, but I believe really that they don't give a fuck. Left or right, nobody cares about people in prison because they're not supposed to be there at all. It's even worse than racist. It's negligence, it's denial. So that's why I'm asking about the democracy. That is a nice word, but if the majority votes for people and parties who support the system or don't even discuss it, what is democracy? It's democracy that puts you guys in prison.
Okay, it's already happening.
I'm extremist?
No, it's true. You are 100% right. But it's already happening, and this is in the system. How can we then get out of this? Yes. I want to ask this question.
Yes, good question.
Because if we say it's happening, we can talk about this for long, but then how can we fix this? How can we make the situation better?
Well, same, I just explained the strategy. You collect information, experience, you document it, you publish a report, you give it to the press, maybe you get a few lines, If you're lucky, somebody will react. But most of the time, what happens with your reports, to be honest, Sema?
Unfortunately, I do have to say it doesn't always fall on. They do listen to us. It's just
Who are they?
they. Let's say now the detention center.
Okay.
So they do know what we are saying. We are saying that people are put in isolation. We're saying there's not enough freedom, but there's also a structural problem, which is that they don't have enough personnel. So then that's the excuse not to grant these people their rights or more freedoms.
Don't you get mad?
Of course. Yeah, of course.
Very unprofessional,
Yeah.
but it helps. You have to be mad sometimes.
Yeah, you have to stay mad. Of course, you're not supposed to be insensitive.
Yeah.
But if it helps.
But the question you put, how can we end this system? You are doing it in your way, in a civilized, even in a way you communicate with the system to make it less miserable, if I can resume. It's not good enough.
No.
No, but this is the groundwork you have to do before you can change anything.
So what's the next step?
The next step would be, draw attention, more attention. It's happening all the time. Demonstrate, draw attention to this injustice.
Yeah, we're gonna do that on Sunday, yeah?
And then when they ask, well, injustice, and then we have all these reports about the injustice. So that's very much needed, the stuff you do. That's all I want to say. I can say it's not enough. No, it's still there. But if you don't do this, there's no beginning of a struggle, I would think.
But we have drones. We can plant invading trees to cover and hide and destroy the prison. I mean, people are planting trees at the nuclear airbase at Vogel.
But it's very symbolic.
Yeah, so what?
No, that's okay.
We can make them scared by symbols because they are stupid.
And it did make the mainstream news.
And it's art.
Yeah.
We can be artists and make confusion, create a different perspective. Because I remember the last time I was at the prison, I met the people who left their job. They were leaving their job and going home. And I said, do you remember the Schiphol fire? And they do remember, and they didn't like it at all, because to remind them of something that was also affecting the personnel of the prison, they will remember. They cannot forget. They feel guilty, just like everybody else should, for voting for a system that puts people in detention. So it does help to confront people personally with the truth every time. That's why we organize this big manifestation and bus tour next Sunday, because then it's exactly 20 years ago that we saw the result of the system, people dying behind cell doors. That's why.
Maybe it is also good to give some more information about this specific detention center that burned, because it was actually built after a debate in the parliament where the right-wing racist ideas were very much ventilated, and there was a lot of pressure on the government by political parties to have more cells to deport more people. And so that's the level of debate that existed in the parliament and is still the same now. And then the minister felt obliged to build more detention centers or more cells. And this specific part that caught fire, to build it, they actually overruled all the normal rules that are applied for building prisons, but also building so the safeguards for ordinary buildings. Like normally there's a maximum length of a hallway with cells on each side, and they went further beyond that maximum. And so it was afterwards in the reports that were shown after the fire. It was shown that if the state had followed its own rules that they apply for all the citizens, and that were democratically also decided upon, there could have been a fire, but it would have never extended to such a terrible situation that there were 11 people who died. So they actually didn't follow any of the fire restrictions that was normal for prisons, but also for ordinary buildings. So there was a lot of criticism on this, the building of this detention center. Two ministers stepped down after this report got published. And yes, this part of the prison, this specific part, was called a deportation center. So it was the wing where the people who would effectively be deported on a short term were kept. And so there were men, but also women in the same whole department. So 2 of the 11, it was 2 women and 9 men that died. Yes, when I also want to talk about the reasons why these deportation centers are being built. There's actually 2 types of laws on which people can be detained, and one of them is like Hamed that asked asylum at the Schiphol airport. Schiphol is part of the European Union external border. And so it means that because of this fortress Europe has to be defended very well on its external borders. And this is why the people who ask asylum there are put in prison. This is not the case when you cross the border from Belgium or Germany to ask asylum. Then you go to AZC or asylum center. But so there is this part of the detention that's a part of the external European Union border. And the other part are the people without papers that have lost all their rights and are within the Netherlands. So this is the two types of detention laws. And yes, I don't know if I explained it quite well. And in the deportation center that got burned, it was actually the people from both sides that lost their asylum, that lost any rights to have another procedure here in the Netherlands, and were ready to be deported.
So yes, it's a great fire risk. How is that in Rotterdam? Is it? Do you know something? Because I heard it's pretty nasty, the place in Rotterdam where people are kept. Is this according to standards, or is it also a kind of improvised thing?
What do you mean with nasty?
It's unpleasant. If you have to stay in a cell 21 hours
Yes.
a day, that's no fun.
Yeah. All right. So now there is a law, and they want to. Well, the law that's now used inside immigration detention is the same law that is applied in criminal justice detention. And with the law, I mean, which rights do these people have? Do they have the right to go to the gym for 6 hours or for 3 hours or for 4 hours? So for now, it's the same. And I think for about 10 years or even more, there's this new law coming that wants to separate this law. It's called in Dutch penitentiaire beginselenwet. They want to separate it to have a law that regulates how many rights and how many freedoms people have inside for administrative detention, just like immigration detention, so that it's separate.
Yeah, this administrative detention, that
Yes.
is something I remember from South Africa and from Israel.
Yes.
Isn't that amazing?
Is it just not just a word?
I mean,
Put
we are
people in
talking
jail who
about
haven't done anything?
people who are not
Yes.
accused of any
No.
crime.
Yeah.
We call it taking people hostage.
Yes.
If we do that in Palestine, the world cries out. In South Africa, there was a big movement to end apartheid. So where is the movement to end this administrative detention of innocent people? That's the question.
Well, hopefully the movement will grow bigger.
The movement.
The movement, yeah, there's
We
no
are the
movement.
movement.
We are the movement.
All right. Yay. Music.
Let's be realistic. You think with these days, with what's happening in the politics and what is new government, new rules, you think this movement can go bigger?
If I think that?
Yeah, because I see now in the politics it's like the opposite side.
Very good question.
Movement.
It must get bigger, I think.
Yes, it must get bigger.
Yeah.
And also, we are manipulated a lot. There's a lot of pressure from everywhere
Yeah.
To push people to the right wing. If you look at the media, the talk shows, it's all right wing, and it used to be not.
Do you watch talk shows?
I don't, but voters do.
Oh, voters. Yeah, we have a problem with the voters actually.
Yeah. So.
We have to educate the voters.
Yeah.
How? Everybody has to listen to this radio program. It will be released on YouTube tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we can spread it all around the world. We can send it to Sudan, we can send it to Palestine, so people are prepared when they come to the Netherlands. Is that helpful?
It's helpful if they have a phone to listen to it.
They need internet.
They need internet.
Yeah.
No, that is impossible then.
Yeah. Okay, then we have to write them a letter.
No, but why we go to Sudan? There is people in the Netherlands don't know about this, and they have to be educated about this, and they don't know nothing about the detention. This is number one. Number two, a lot of people in the Netherlands that is left wings, so people with migrants after front, they don't vote. They feel they don't care about voting. Well, all the right people, they know very well for who to vote. They know all the information about the party that will vote about. So I think like educating people to know for who to vote and to get them to even vote, that is very important.
So we start with educating the left-wing, good-willing people.
Just inform them about the politics and about also their vote can change things because you know the right, blah blah blah, these kind of things. It's very important.
It's the low-hanging fruit, I think. These people. There's the low-hanging fruit. The first ones that you can get on your side quickly.
Easily, yeah.
No, not easily, but easier
than the high-hanging fruits.
Yeah, if you explain it simply, because also now if you are talking about the talk show, but if I look at the talk show, it's all in Dutch and it's all very difficult words, the words they use. So I don't understand even for who to vote.
Like penitentiaire beginselenwet.
One of them.
Yeah, that's a law term. It means that they have some principles that apply to people in prison. They have some principles, they say, but the practice is different, isn't it, Selma?
It is.
Yeah. What is the reality as compared to the principles?
Well, the reality again is that this law was designed for criminal justice system, not for immigration detention.
But are they going to make a special regime for migrants in detention?
That's the intention, yes. Yeah.
But then I want to know, because you know that on European level, they are really pushing, following the Dutch example, because the Dutch were pioneers in repatriation or remigration or deportation.
Mm-hmm.
And now this is going to happen on European scale. They are focusing on the quickest way to put people back to their country. So what we see is that the Schiphol fire is multiplying. The Schiphol detention center is multiplying all over the place, in and outside of Europe. So it is really time to create this movement. And we can start right here, that's true. But we have to find a better way, because it's not effective. The Meltbut is doing a good job, but it's not good enough. Do you agree?
Yes, very much.
So what is the next step? How do we... It's not easy to create a movement with people in prison, but it does happen sometimes. Sometimes people go on hunger strike. That is one of the few ways that works.
No.
But it's not easy to organize. Have you ever tried?
Has it worked in the past? Because you have had hunger strikes.
It happened in the past, yes. At Schiphol Oost, yes.
Yeah.
And we were there.
It still happens, but I wouldn't say it's very useful, because you're just they'll force you to have eventually this thing.
Yeah, but it's only useful if you do it together.
If you do it together.
Yes, all the brothers and sisters inside. There you have the problem, because sometimes you cannot even communicate with your cellmate. So how can you organize that not one single person goes on hunger strike, but the whole block?
Well, I think there was much more attention before. If a case of a hunger strike was known, and nowadays, if there's a hunger strike, you know, the chance that the media or the people think this as an important event is not very high. So there's not much attention to these things, and they do still happen. You know, it was not organized from the outside before, and it's not organized from the outside now.
But the
So
Meltbut
it
would be the
continues.
first to hear about the hunger strike.
Yes,
And
but
if the Meltbut hears about the hunger strike, what can you do to make it known to the movement?
yeah,
That's the question.
they publish it, they bring it out, but nobody, you know, not many people care about
I
it.
never heard it. Maybe
It's-
we can improve the
it's-
communication.
If you have heard it, then that means something.
No.
I haven't heard it, yeah.
They have a magazine, and they publish what's within the detention centers, and also the actions of the prisoners, and so on. So it does happen.
But they publish that in the report that comes half a year later. That's not action.
Yeah,
But
but
the next time we have a hunger strike, I want to know about it, and we move.
All right.
okay,
Okay,
so
that's the deal.
they'll phone you then.
Yes.
Okay, but
That's why we are here.
Yeah, that's what we
yeah,
We put it on the radio immediately.
okay.
Absolutely.
But
We
so
did it live. We had live talks with people in prison. It can be done.
Yes, it
We
can
have
be
to
done.
use what we have.
and
What we want.
Get what we want.
I think another reason why we are giving attention to the Schiphol fire and to undocumented people and detention is that we are here in a neighborhood in Amsterdam Oost, which is a mixed neighborhood, and it's not only negative.
What do you mean
I mean, mixed cultures.
Cultures.
It's een gemengde buurt. And it has been for a very long time. And people are living together here, and they appreciate it. And part of the population was undocumented. That is known here in the neighborhood. I've been visiting undocumented people here, living with very high rent and no contract and so on.
Selling the straatkrant.
Or working in migrant shops and so on. And so it exists. And one of the reasons why we're organizing this in the poorthuises is also to make it visible that there are undocumented people in our society, and there is, on the other side, there is an attempt to criminalize it even more. And there is now a discussion in the parliament and the government to make it a criminal.
You will be a criminal if the law applies.
Because
you help people. You are helping illegal people, man. That's criminal.
Well, it's not only helping, but it's being without papers that is going to be
even more
criminalized.
Yeah.
So, and I was just talking before an hour ago with some people that passed by, and they were talking about children that were afraid, actually, in the classroom when being undocumented.
Yeah.
And this is gonna happen even more if this law is gonna go through, because there's no other aim than just criminalizing people and making them more afraid.
Yeah, it's called deterrence.
Yes. And so it does work, but I also see in the neighborhood here that people do live together and do help each other as neighbors, and so that's also, a positive thing.
That's what we call Teranga.
We should not try to forget about this.
And we can reinforce this other way of living together as opposed to the xenophobic racist system that is imposing this on human beings. I believe you're right, and that art can play a role in that, in making visible and opening windows for a different way of looking at people, and you being here is for me normal, so that's what we are doing. We are showing the way, and we talk about it like human beings. That's something. But is it good enough?
Well, I also invited Yusuf. I talked about him before. Yusuf is a Somalian asylum seeker. He was undocumented for more than 10 years, living on the street, squatting buildings. He was part of the We Are Here collective.
He has a great voice.
He has a good voice. He's from a fishing...
Solidarité avec les sans-papiers.
He was from a fishing family in Somalia, and he got papers after more than 10 years, which is unbelievable, but suddenly he was legalized. I wanted to hear from his story. He's been in detention also several times, and he could not be deported. And so, he's an example of someone who has been living here because of his background. He had no other choice, and he succeeded.
Yeah.
And he's actually he's from a fishing village, and he is also a sailor. He's got a limited permit for the tourist boats, and the GEB, the transport company of Amsterdam, is very interested in him because they need people to go from Central Station to Amsterdam North, but they cannot find sailors that want to do this.
Yeah,
and
that brings me to the question, because Yusuf is not here, but we can see him on the boat every now and then, and he will be there on Sunday, he knows. But then, because we have to almost end the program, we have 3 minutes left, and I want to know, it's a difficult question. Suppose you are legalized and you need to find a job, and they offer you a nice job, prison guard. Do you accept that job?
If I don't have a choice to change the job, I will accept it. Yeah, okay. I can also be a good guard.
They exist.
Yeah, they are exist. Yeah, they are. I think only if they feel the pain, they will be exist. But if you give the power for a person who doesn't know how to use the power, then that is the problem.
Okay.
So for me, I will accept it.
Okay, you will be a good guard.
I will try my best.
Okay.
I will just be normal, not a good.
Yeah. What do you say, Hammer?
Absolutely not.
Not?
No, wouldn't
Why?
think about it. If everyone rejected it, then no, there would be no guards to go. The system would just fall. If no one would participate.
Op zoek naar mijn vriend. Dit is een verhaal ter nagedachtenis aan papa Sako en de 11 dodelijke slachtoffers van de schipholbrand op 26 oktober 2005. Het verhaal is geschreven door Claudia Biegel. Het verhaal van mijn zoektocht. Nu ik dood ben, kan ik makkelijker zoeken. Waarom dat zo is, kan ik niet uitleggen. Niet aan levenden tenminste. Alleen doden begrijpen wat ik bedoel. Hoewel het zoeken nu eenvoudiger is, heb ik hem nog niet gevonden. Nog steeds niet. Dat stemt droevig. Ja, zelfs als je dood bent kun je verdriet voelen. Wij doden hebben emoties net als de levenden. Alleen zijn ze intenser. Meer vertel ik niet over de dood. Daar gaat dit verhaal niet over. Dit verhaal gaat over vriendschap. Niet over een vriendschap van vele jaren, maar over een vriendschap die er ineens was. En over het verliezen daarvan. Letterlijk verliezen. Niet weten waar je vriend is. Dat mijn vriend nog leeft, weet ik pas sinds ik zelf ben gestorven. Dat klinkt vreemd, maar zo is het wel. Wij doden kennen elkaar en hij is niet hier. Toen ik nog leefde, maakte het niet weten waar hij was me gek. Zoeken naar een vriend is zwaar, maar niet weten of hij nog leeft, dat is ondraaglijk. Nu is die onzekerheid weg, maar ik heb hem nog steeds niet gevonden. Laat ik mezelf eerst even introduceren. Ik ben een man geboren in Senegal. Mijn droom is altijd geweest om met zoveel mogelijk mensen uit te wisselen en te communiceren. Dat deed ik niet met woorden, maar met muziek en andere kunst. Op mijn 18e kwam ik naar Nederland met 2 koffers. Eentje met mijn kunst en de andere vol teranga. Wat is dat, zul je denken? Teranga is iets typisch Afrikaans en het is moeilijk te vertalen. Noem het mensenliefde. Mijn liefde voor mensen had ik hard nodig om mijn hoofd boven water te houden. Nederland zat niet op me te wachten. Sterker nog, Nederland zat op niemand te wachten met een kleurtje. Ook als je moslim was, zagen ze je liever gaan dan komen. En stel je voor, ik heb een kleur en ik ben moslim. Kortom, niet gewenst. Toch, als je veel van mensen houdt zoals ik, kom je in een heel eind. Zelfs in een vijandig land. Daarnaast kon ik altijd terugvallen op mijn muziek. Muziek was mijn leven. Alle problemen verdwenen zodra ik muziek maakte. Zelfs toen ik dakloos werd, afgleed naar de goot, hielp muziek me door de donkerste tijden. Ook al zat alles tegen, muziek gaf me een stem. En wie een stem heeft, behoudt zijn menselijkheid. Die blijft waardig. Zelfs in bushokjes, terwijl het regende. Onder bruggen in de kou of in de verstikkende hitte. Met mijn muziek hield ik me overeind. Nederlanders noemden me afkeurend een gelukzoeker. Net of zoeken naar geluk iets slechts is. Of geluk alleen bestemd is voor witte mensen. Maar goed, dat is weer een ander verhaal. Excuus voor mijn afdwalingen. Nu ga ik echt over tot het vertellen van het verhaal waarom het draait. De man die ik zoek, mijn vriend, zwerft ergens rond op aarde. Misschien leeft hij op straat, misschien bedelt hij zijn eten bij elkaar, geen idee. Hij is uitgeprocedeerd en bungelt helemaal onderaan de samenleving. Niemand wordt zo geminacht als een uitgeprocedeerde asielzoeker. Mijn vriend en ik leerden elkaar kennen in de bak, de gevangenis bij Schiphol. We waren allebei tegen de lamp gelopen bij een politiecontrole. Hij was muzikant, net als ik. En ja, dat smeedde een band. Eerlijk gezegd weet ik niet eens hoe oud hij was of uit welk land hij eigenlijk kwam. We praten alleen over muziek. Tijdens het luchten, een paar keer per dag, van die korte momenten van een beetje vrijheid, spraken we over ritme, melodieën, klanken. Iedereen om ons heen was zwijgzaam en somber. Begrijpelijk natuurlijk met het oog op de uitzetting. Alleen wij niet. En dat kwam door de muziek. We konden natuurlijk niet spelen of luisteren, maar muziek, dat zit in je bloed. Het is de motor waarop je draait. Zelfs als je leven in puin ligt en alle hoop is verdwenen. Zo even heb ik gevraagd of ze hem nog herinneren. Of ze nog iets weten over mijn vriend. Ze klitten samen, de 11 van de schipholbrand. Ze kunnen niet loskomen van elkaar, zelfs niet nu ze dood zijn. Ik heb geprobeerd met ze te praten over de brand, maar nee, dat willen ze niet. Het gekke is, ze hebben het over van alles, over de meest triviale dingen, maar nooit over die vreselijke brand. Of over de helse pijnen die ze geleden moeten hebben toen het vuur ze verteerde. Mij dulden ze af en toe in hun gezelschap, omdat ik daar ook zat, bij Schiphol. En ja, ik was bijna een van hun geweest, ook levend verbrand. Hoe ik aan het vuur ontkwam? Mijn vriend heeft me gered. Hij forceerde de deur van mijn cel. Vraag me niet hoe, want dat is eigenlijk onmogelijk. Hij zei altijd dat hij bovennatuurlijke krachten bezat. En misschien was dat ook zo. Hoe dan ook, hij redde me met gevaar voor eigen leven. Het vuur had hem bijna bereikt. En ik gilde, rennen man, laat mij. Hij deed alsof hij me niet hoorde en kreeg me uit dat hol. Niet te beschrijven hoe het voelt als je vastzit in een brand. De rook is het ergst. Maar toch, vraag me niet hoe, vergeet je het ook weer een beetje. Het is niet iets waar ik dagelijks aan terugdenk. Niet toen ik leefde en ook nu niet. Maar er is één ding dat ik niet kan vergeten. Het geschreeuw van die mensen in doodsnood. Dat is nooit meer verdwenen uit mijn hoofd. Maar goed, terug naar de vraag of de 11 zich hem nog herinnerde, mijn vriend. Je zult het niet geloven, maar niemand van de 11 wist over wie ik het had. Alsof een of ander toverbrouwsel hem goed uit hun geheugen had gewist. En denk niet dat doden zich weinig herinneren, dat is een misvatting. Als je dood bent, kun je je hele leven voor je zien. Ieder moment opnieuw beleven, vanaf geboorte tot aan het einde. Ik heb net afscheid genomen van de 11. Ik vertrek naar een andere bestemming in de oneindige dodenwereld. Mijn vriend heeft me aangespoord om verder te gaan. Hoe dat kan, of ik hem gevonden heb, nee, niet echt. Hij vond mij, dat wil zeggen, zijn gedachten vonden mij. Ze vertelde me dat ik moest ophouden met zoeken. Dat mijn vriend niet gevonden wilde worden en dat ik zijn grenzen moest respecteren. Dat deed pijn. Ik wilde tegenwerpen dat dit onzin was, maar op gedachten kun je niet reageren. Dat was ik even vergeten. Het is gek. Ik dacht dat ik alles wist over vriendschap. Toch niet dus. Maar ja, je bent nooit te oud om te leren. Claudia Biegel, 2 augustus 2025 geschreven.
Bye bye. Zwaai, zwaai.